After releasing the so-called Twitter files, Elon Musk is already crying foul about another national election. This time, he's very concerned about how the presidential election played out in Brazil. And of course, the winner of that election was Lula da Silva, the leftist candidate who won against right-winger mini-Trump Jair Bolsonaro. Now, here's what happened. It all started with Avi Yamini, who's a contributor to a right-wing news outlet known as Rebel News. He tweeted the following: "Hey, Elon Musk, can you find out what other elections were handled by the former Twitter regime? Thank you, the rest of the world." Now, what he's making a reference to is how the so-called Twitter files, which were released by Elon Musk to Matt Taibbi, and then Matt Taibbi had a lengthy Twitter thread about it, just indicated that both campaigns, both the Biden campaign and the Trump campaign during the 2020 election, reached out to Twitter to ask for content to be taken down, and oftentimes that content was censored. That was the big smoking gun story that's being referred to here. Now, in response to that tweet by Avi Yamini, Elon Musk says this: "I've seen a lot of concerning tweets about the recent Brazil election. If those tweets are accurate, it's possible that Twitter personnel gave preference to left-wing candidates." How about you shut up? Okay, how about instead of pondering, maybe there's a possibility that's, how about you don't know anything yet? And instead of questioning the results of an election where the right-wing candidate, much like Trump, refuses to concede, how about you shut up? Because what he's engaging in is incredibly irresponsible, right? What Brazil is experiencing right now, again, is similar to what we've experienced with Donald Trump refusing to concede. You have Donald Trump calling for the suspension of our Constitution because he doesn't like the results of the 2020 election. And thank God we have someone like Elon Musk enabling them with insane conspiracy theories about how Twitter censorship made all the freaking difference in these elections. Jair Bolsonaro was a disaster in Brazil, okay? His approval ratings were incredibly low. The way he handled the coronavirus pandemic, similar to Trump, was a disaster. The way he treated the indigenous community in Brazil, disaster. What he did to the rainforest under his leadership, disaster. I mean, the list goes on and on. He made Lula da Silva, who was the leading candidate in the previous presidential election, a political prisoner. Okay, and that was the only reason why he won. I don't see Elon Musk, concerned about that, because of course he's not concerned. I mean, name a right-wing figure and you'll find a friend. Elon Musk will find a friend in that figure. It's amazing. So Hassan responded to that saying, "Are we going to have Elon claim every election he doesn't like the outcome of stolen by Twitter now?" And the answer is yes. This is the way that they play. This is what they do. He has no evidence indicating that Twitter stole the election for Lula. This is so incredibly dumb. But look, I want to bring up a broader point here. Because the fact of the matter is, Elon Musk, not a firm believer in the democratic process, neither here nor abroad, because when the United States was accused of orchestrating a coup in Bolivia, he was all about it and was pretty clear about how he was all about it. So let's go to this next Twitter exchange. One person had written to Elon, you know what wasn't in the best interest of people? The US government organizing a coup against Evo Morales in Bolivia so you could obtain the lithium there. And he responded, "We will coup whoever we want, deal with it." Oh, Elon Musk, the man who's notoriously concerned about democracy across the world, right? Until he wants the natural resources necessary to make the batteries for his electric vehicles. In that case, he has no problem with the United States government orchestrating a coup, overthrowing a democratically elected leader to pave the way for US business interests to rape and pillage the natural resources in the country that they're orchestrating said coup in. I mean, if there's anyone who genuinely believes that Elon Musk wants to protect free speech when he would rain terror on his own workers for wanting to organize, anyone who thinks that Elon Musk believes in and wants to protect democracy when he just brazenly says that we'll coup who we want just so he can access the natural resources he needs for his business. You're just dumb. You're dumb. You're a dumb person. Okay, I'm just keeping it real. And they'll tweet to me, they'll contact me, they'll email me, they'll tell me I'm dumb. I know, I'm a woman, I can't think for myself, I'm so dumb. Except you got played by a billionaire. I mean, that is the most pathetic thing I've ever seen. Now, what I think is really transpiring is right-wingers know exactly what Elon's doing. He's protecting right-wing interests. And so they're, providing this facade of democracy and free speech to enable the behavior he's engaging in. But we all know what's really going on, right? We all know it. And think about how pathetic it is when you need a billionaire to be your daddy. When you go to extreme lengths to protect a freaking billionaire who honestly is representative of so much of the pain and suffering of a system that has caused so much pain and suffering toward American workers in this country and throughout the world, really. That's your daddy? Okay, I think it's pretty sad. Now, let's just quickly give you a rundown on what's transpiring in Brazil, because as I mentioned earlier, Lula da Silva did win that election, but Jair Bolsonaro, the incumbent running for re-election, he lost but refuses to concede. Bolsonaro filed an official complaint to the Brazilian Superior Electoral Tribunal, the country's highest court on electoral law. The lame duck president informed the court that a company he contracted to investigate the country's election machines found a bug in the machines, of course, that rendered the election invalid, claiming the machines incorrectly attributed millions of votes in his favor to Lula, and that therefore he actually won the October 30th runoff. In response to Bolsonaro's electoral challenge, or I should say the response to his electoral challenge was swift and decisive, as the electoral tribunal wasted no time in denying his claim. It argued that the bug Bolsonaro's chosen watchdog company found is real, but that it only affected the oldest generation of voting machines in the country and did nothing to change the results of the election. According to the tribunal, the election was as free and fair as any that Brazil has had since it transitioned back to democracy. And the court even ordered Bolsonaro to pay a fine for what they refer to as bad faith litigation. It'd be nice if we saw that here with the bad faith litigation that Trump and his campaign spurred. Now, make no mistake, Bolsonaro isn't giving up. He's just like Trump. He really is considered like a mini Trump. And like Trump, he has spent years lying about election fraud. So let's get to the next graphic. Bolsonaro had claimed that apparent patterns in vote results show proof of fraud. He has repeatedly said the election officials count votes in secret. It's just the same thing, everybody. It's the same thing that we're seeing here. It's like he's been watching the outcome of the 2020 election in the United States, just taking notes. It's like the only time he's done any work in his life as a leader of any country. He's like, I mean, I don't care about anything else, but let me take notes on what Trump is doing in embarrassing himself through his failure to concede, and let me just mimic that and see if it works here. And luckily it hasn't. So look, I'm not gonna bore you with more. Lula won. The international community accepts that he won. There isn't any evidence of widespread voter fraud. But in the end of the day, much like here in the United States, Elon Musk is adding fuel to the fire by making people question the legitimacy of the outcome because of no evidence. Like, he hasn't provided any reason, he hasn't provided any evidence, but he's concerned about the legitimacy. That's it. Really glad that he's head of what's considered the town square of social media. So pathetic.
Thanks for watching the Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.